Hey y'all, you know what time it is up in this house. It is dessert time. We're gonna make an oldie but a goodie. We're gonna make a Texas sheet cake from scratch. The cake's from scratch. There will be no cake mix harmed in this. And the icing's from scratch. It is delicious. I grew up with this recipe too, and we're on a chocolate kick right now. Why not? First thing you need to do is preheat your oven to 350. Then get you a jelly roll pan out like so and spray the shit out of it. It's real good because you don't want this to mix. You don't want it to stick. Can't talk. I'll be so glad when this chemo brain passes. For y'all that's had it, how long does it last? Because it's frustrating at times. I say one thing and say another thing, you know what I mean? But anywho, let's get to it. Let's make a Texas sheet cake. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get us a bowl and we're going to put 2 cups of self-rising flour in our bowl, and I've got exactly 2 cups. Then we're gonna take 2 cups of white sugar, and also I use White Lily self-rising flour. Said it right again, y'all. I'm 2 for 2. So let's pour out 2 cups of white sugar to our 2 cups of flour. And we're just gonna let it sit here just for a minute. While that's gonna sit there and we're not gonna touch it, we're gonna get us a saucepan. In this saucepan, we're going to put us 2 sticks of salted butter. I'm using real butter, okay? Don't want no hate. It's one thing about me, I am not a negative Nancy. I'm a very positive person, and I would appreciate everybody else being the same too. You know, I had a bad year in 2023. I battled cancer. I hit death's door 3 times. And none of them times was my time to go. And it still ain't. And by God, I beat cancer. And my positivity level from a scale of 1 to 10 is 100. And we're going to keep it that way, y'all. Okay, enough said. 2 sticks of real butter to my saucepan. To 1 cup of water. I just got cold water out of the tap. And then we're going to add, what's my recipe say? 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And you know what I'm using? Nestle. And yeah, I'm going to measure this one. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Got Mississippi chicken in my crock pot, y'all. It smells so dang good. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this with our handy dandy whisk and we're gonna put it on the burner on the stove on medium-high heat and bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we're gonna take it off the heat and we're gonna add it to our flour and sugar mixer. Flour and sugar mix, not mixer. Blah. Hold on, y'all. Let's put this on the stove. Okay, while our cocoa powder, butter, and water is coming to a mixy boil on the stove, I'm gonna mix up my flour and my sugar mixer. I can't talk. I'm gonna mix up my flour and my sugar, y'all. To that, we're gonna add 2 eggs. We're not gonna mix this. We're gonna temper our chocolate once it gets done on the stove. Got me a trash pile going over here. My arm's so short, can't hardly reach it. All right, then we're gonna add 1/2 cup of buttermilk. Y'all, got to have buttermilk in this cake. It gives it very much flavor, and it's very moist. And I shook this up before I opened it. Now, we're going to add, you know, a teaspoon of vanilla. I'll measure this, I squirt. There we go. So, I'm gonna stir this on the stove, I'm gonna bring it to a boil, then we're gonna mix all this really quick because we don't want scrambled eggs. Okay, our butter, our water, and our cocoa powder is dissolved and it comes to a boil on the stove and I stopped it. So to that, we're gonna add it to our flour, our egg, and our buttermilk mixture. And we're going to whisk as we pour because you do not want scrambled eggs. You gotta be pretty quick. See how this is going? Now, I'm gonna dump it real quick. We're gonna save this saucepan. We're gonna use it again because we're gonna make our frosting on the stove too. Stove two. All right, let's get this mixy really quick. Then we're gonna pour it in our greased jelly roll pan. I think it's like a 15 by 20. All right, let's get it mixed up here real good. All right, once I get this mixed up, I'm gonna pour it in my pan and I'll show you. Our batter's mixed up really good. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna pour it in my pan just like that. It's perfect, and my eggs did not scramble because we tempered them. All right, we're gonna pop this in the oven, 350 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. I'm gonna check mine at 15 and see this is the perfect batter, y'all. All right, let me throw this bad boy in the oven. Okay, while our cake is in the oven cooking, we're gonna make our frosting. I'm gonna use the same pan, on the same burner, on the same stove. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put another stick of real butter in this. And yes, it's salted. That's all I buy is salted butter, in case y'all didn't know. I do not buy unsalted butter, I don't believe in it. But you use what you want, I don't care. All right, to that, we're going to add, what is this? 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder. So, and yes, I measured again. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I'm gonna have to go buy some more. We're at the bottom of the pot. 4 tablespoons of that. Now, we're gonna add 6 tablespoons of buttermilk in our frosting, and I'm gonna measure it again. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If my grandbaby was here, she would do the counting for me. Be a good day to be at Mama's today. Okay, so we've got a stick of butter, 6 tablespoons of buttermilk, 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and we're gonna add again Amanda's teaspoon of vanilla. Squirt. We're gonna bring this to a boil, and we're gonna cook it for about a minute, and then we're gonna add 1 pound of confectionery sugar. And this is what it looks like, y'all, before I put it on the stove. Our frosting mixture is done, and I cooked it for a minute on the stove after the butter melted. And I'm gonna add 2 cups of powdered sugar just into my pan with the rest of it. Just want to stick in here. My cake's got 8 minutes left. As soon as it gets done, we're pouring the frosting over the hot cake. Then you let it sit for a couple of hours. And let me tell you, this is delicious. And honestly, I do not know why it's called Texas sheet cake. Considering I live in Kentucky, it should be called Kentucky sheet cake. Why not? All right, I'm gonna add just a little bit more powdered sugar to this. See it? I want it a little bit thicker. And like I said, I just used 2 cups. So I'm gonna put 1 more cup in here. There we go. I've made this so many times, you kind of know what your frosting is supposed to look like. You want it thick and shiny. And of course, sweet. But this is a very, very delicious cake. If y'all have not made this, try it. So last night, I made the chocolate pudding cake, chocolate lava cake, whatever you want to call it. Here where I live, we call it chocolate pudding cake. Let me tell you, that cake did not last an hour in this house, y'all. I'm gonna have to make a double batch next time. All right, this is kind of what you want. See that? That's it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let our cake finish. We're gonna pour this over it and then let it sit. Our cake is out of the oven. I end up cooking mine for 19 minutes on 350, and it's perfect. And let me show you a little trick that I do. This is really hot. I take a butter knife and I just go around the edges and make sure it's not stuck, because I want my icing to go down in this too. You can poke holes in this if you want, but I wouldn't if I was you, but you do what you want because this is thin. So here's our icing that we made, and it's thick. I end up using a total of 4 cups of confectionery sugar. See how pretty that is? And I'm just gonna mix it really good, really quick. Then we're just gonna start pouring over the cake, just like that, y'all, see? And you're gonna let it set for a couple hours because the icing will harden and it will seep down in that cake, and it is delicious, let me tell you, delicious. All right, let me get my butter knife out so I used every bit of that. We're gonna spread her real quick. Make sure it gets evenly on all 4 corners and all throughout, because you don't want a big lump in the middle, because you know sometimes when you make a cake, the icing always wants to go to the middle. Well, you don't want this to happen. And there we go. I'm not gonna pick it up because it's hot and I don't want it to spew. Here you go. Let's just say it's a Kentucky sheet cake instead of a Texas sheet cake. It's a holly jolly holly chocolate mess, which is good. I know I'm crazy today, right? I'm so happy because I'm winning at life, y'all. And I got to share my happiness and my positivity with y'all. Hope you're having a great day, and I love you. And go make you a Kentucky sheet cake.